Good morning, children. Now I am going to continue the lesson, the three questions. Here comes someone running, said the hermit. Now, part 2. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. So, when the hermit said that there was someone coming running towards them, the king turned round and saw there was a bearded man running towards them, towards the hermit and the king. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. So the man who came running, his hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. So when the bearded man reached the king, came very close to the king, he fainted, he became unconscious and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. So because he fell to the ground and he was unconscious, the king and the hermit, they removed the man's clothing and they found there was a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief. So when the king saw that there was a wound, large wound in his stomach, the king washed and covered the wound with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. When he washed and covered the wound with his handkerchief, the blood did not stop flowing. So what the king did was he dressed again until the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. So when the blood had stopped flowing from his stomach, and when the bearded man who was wounded felt better, he asked the hermit and the king for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. So the king went inside the hermit's hut and he brought water and gave water to the bearded man. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. So by that time, when all this the king did, he cleaned the wound and redressed and gave the wounded man some water to drink. By that time it was sunset and it was pleasant weather. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. So the king and the hermit, both of them, they carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. So the man who was wounded, who was taken inside by the king and the hermit, lay very quiet, and the king was also very tired because in the morning he left the horse with the bodyguard and he came walking to the hermit's hut. So he was very tired, and also he had worked for the hermit by digging beds to sow seeds in it. The king also lay down on the floor and slept through the night. Through the night means all through the night, the whole night. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. So when the king awoke in the morning, he was shocked to see a strange bearded man lying on the bed, and he was in the hermit's hut sleeping on the floor. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. So when this bearded man saw that the king was awake, he asked for apology. He asked the king to forgive him. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. So when he said, Forgive me, the bearded man who was wounded and was lying on the bed, when he said, Forgive me, the king answered that he did not know him, and he said there was nothing to forgive him. You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property. So, even though the king did not know the bearded man, but the man who was in the hut lying on the bed, who was wounded, knew the king. And then he said that he had promised to take revenge on the king because the king had killed this bearded man's brother, and also he had taken away the property of his by force. So that is why this bearded man wanted to take revenge on the king. I knew you had gone alone to see the hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. So this bearded man who was lying on the bed was explaining to the king that he knew very much that the king went all alone to the hermit's hut. So on the way he wanted to kill the king. But the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard who recognized me and wounded me. So this bearded man who was waiting for the king in a hiding place, and when he saw that the king was not returning from the hermit's house, he came out of the hiding place, but the bodyguard of the king recognized him and he wounded this bearded man. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. So he escaped from the bodyguard with injuries. If the king had not dressed his wounds, he would have died because there would be continuous blood flowing from his stomach and he would have died. He was alive only because the king had dressed his wounds until the blood stopped. I wish to kill you and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. So the man was feeling very bad about the thought that he had in his mind. He wanted to kill the king, and the king had saved his life. So he promised that as long as he lived, he would serve the king as the king's most faithful servant, and he would also order his sons to do the same. That means to work for the king. And once again he apologized to the king to forgive him. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. The king was happy that he had made peace. The bearded man who wanted to take revenge and kill the king had become a friend of the king. So the king was very happy about that. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. So the king forgave this bearded man, and the king said that he would send his servants and his own doctors to look after this wounded man. And the king also promised to return, give back means return the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his questions. The hermit was on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. So now the king left the wounded man and he went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he once again asked the hermit for the answers to the questions. And he saw that the hermit was on his knees sowing seeds in the beds. The beds were already dug the day before with the help of the king. The hermit and the king, both of them had dug the day before. And there, when the king came out, he saw that the hermit was sowing seeds in the beds. He wanted to know the answers. So the king went to the hermit. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." So he went to the hermit and told him, "For the last time, I want you to give me the answers for the 3 questions that I want to know the answers from you." "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. So when the king asked him for the answers of the 3 questions, the hermit said that the king had already been answered. That means he already got the answers. And he didn't even turn back, but he was still bending down to the ground and sowing the seeds in the beds. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" When the hermit said that he was already answered, the king did not understand. Without the hermit answering, how could he know the answers? He did not understand. "Do you not see," replied the hermit, "if you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you and you would have wished you had stayed with me." So he's trying to explain to the king, the hermit was trying to explain to the king how he got the answers. If the king had not felt pity for the hermit the previous day and had not dug the beds for him, he would have gone away. And if he had gone away, the man, this wounded man who was lying in the hermit's hut, would have attacked the king. And then the king would have wished that he should have stayed with the hermit. So, the most important time was when you were digging the beds. So, in this way, the hermit was trying to explain to the king the most important time for the king was when he was digging the beds for the hermit. "And I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business." So at that moment when he dug the ground, the beds for the hermit was the most important time, and the important man was the hermit, and to do good was the most important work of the king. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him, because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So, some more things the hermit was trying to explain to him, giving some other examples of what had happened. He told the king that when the man ran and came towards them, that was the most important time, because the king started caring. As the wounded man was bleeding, blood was flowing from the stomach, he started caring for him, because if the king had not dressed his wounds, then the man would have died. Without having made peace with the king, the man would have died. So, the wounded man was the most important man, and what the king did for him was the most important work. Remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. So, the hermit explained that the most important time for the king was present time. Now means present. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. Why is the present time important? Because it is the only time when a person has any power to act. And the most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. So the most important person would be the person with whom we are at that moment. For no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. So nobody would know what is going to happen in the future and whether we would meet anyone else. So the most important business is to do that person good. So at that moment, with whomsoever you are doing something good for that person, because we were sent into the world for that purpose alone. So if you are doing something good to that person, it is a very good deed done by human being, because we come into this world for that purpose alone. So in the beginning, the king wanted to know the answers for the questions. So he met many wise men, but he did not get the answers because they had answered differently. Though he was willing to give reward to the person who gave the right answer, but nobody gave him the right answer. The king decided to go to the hermit, and when he went to the hermit was digging the beds in the ground. He saw the hermit was old and weak, so the king helped him out. He stayed till the evening and he asked the questions, but the hermit did not answer to him. And when it was evening, the king wanted to return, but at that moment the hermit saw someone running and coming towards them. Then the man had a wound in the stomach. The king dressed and redressed the wound till the blood stopped flowing. And the hermit and the king carried the man inside the hut, and the man lay on the bed. The king, being tired, he also slept on the floor and spent the night in the hermit's hut. And the wounded man asked for forgiveness. He apologized to the king. Then the king did not understand why he was asking. The man said that he actually wanted to kill the king because the king had killed the wounded man's brother and had also by force taken away his property. So he wanted to take revenge. But since the king had saved the wounded man's life, he was grateful and thankful to the king and wanted to be his most faithful servant. Not only he, but also he wanted his sons to be the servants with the king in the king's palace. And after that, the king wanted to go back. So he came out of the hut. He saw the hermit still digging the ground and sowing the seeds in the bed. He asked for the last time for the answers. Then the hermit replied that he already had been answered, and he tried to explain about the incidents that happened when he came from the palace to the hermit and he started working for the hermit. That was the right time for him, the most important time for him to work. Then he cared for the wounded man. That was the most important work that he did. Then he became friend with the wounded man, because if the king had not dressed his wounds, he would have died. So he forgave him. That man was the most important man, and whatever he did was the most important business for him, the work for him. So, in this way, the hermit tried to explain that the only one time that is important for the king is the present, that is now. Now means the present time. Because it is only that time that we have the power to act, to do something. And the most necessary person is the person with whom we are at that particular moment. And the most important work for the king to do was to do good to the person with whom the king is at that moment. For we are all human beings and we need to do something good. When we have come to this world, we have to do good to the humanity. That is the most important time for us. Thank you, children. I hope you have understood